What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday, which means it is another new comic book day, which means we're doing another vlog, obviously. These vlogs have been so fun to record. This is now vlog number 4, I believe. I could be wrong about that. But first, I would just want to, thank everybody for watching, because this has been such a fun series to make, and you guys have been so nice. And I do, before I want to go to the comic store and buy new comics, I want to talk about some old comics that I've been reading this week. I've actually been reading a lot online because I do have Marvel Unlimited, like I said. And I've been reading so much. I'm only counting full series that I've fully read, like start to finish. If I'm in the middle of it or I dropped it, that does not count. And I just want to give you guys my thoughts on it before we go to the comic store to get us in the comic mood. So let's get straight into it. Like I mentioned earlier, this list is going to be absolutely huge because I've been reading so much and I want to give my brief thoughts on each one. So this part might be a little long, but trust me, it'll be worth it because I read so much and I want to talk about comics. I'm going to show the pictures of the issue 1 of the series so you guys know what series I'm talking about. But starting off, we have the 2021 Shang-Chi run. It is 12 issues long. I liked it. It was pretty good. It wasn't as good as some of these other things that I read, but I thought it was a great introduction to Shang-Chi. I think it's a great starter comic as well if you're trying to get into comics, because it basically explains most of, if not all of the lore you need to know up until the time. It also features all of these different Avengers. It features Wolverine, it features Captain America, it features Spider-Man, Mr. Fantastic, Thor. It features like all of these different Marvel characters that are already really well known. So seeing them interact with Shang-Chi is really cool, but also you get to see Shang-Chi basically, establish himself as a character among all these other great characters that we already know and love. So that's what I really like about this series. I also think the artwork is amazing, but overall, story-wise, it is kind of shallow. So I'm just gonna give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Next, we have 2022 Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. This is a 6-issue series. I also liked this. This had a tournament arc that I thought was insane. I just love tournaments in general, which is why I really like DCKO. I think in general, this was just such a good book. And I think, I do think you previously should read the 2021 run of Shang-Chi because it does kind of pick up after that. But you don't really have to necessarily just to enjoy the tournament, but just to understand a little bit of the lore, I think it is pretty necessary. But overall, I rate this like another 4 out of 5 stars. I think the tournament arc was great. I think it's called Worm Spawn, was really creepy. It reminded me of like Stranger Things almost. It was really cool, reminding me of the Mind Flayer. But overall, again, it was a little bit weaker just because it was a shorter series. We're kind of just seeing a lot of hand-to-hand combat, which is obviously cool with Shang-Chi, but story-wise, it is just a little bit shallow. So I give it a 4 out of 5 stars, which is not a bad score. Next we have this is a one-shot, but it's Shang-Chi Master of the 10 Rings, the 2023 one-shot. This was cool. Honestly, like, it's kind of just there because, they want to give us some Shang-Chi, but they don't want to give us like a overall fully fleshed out story. So they kind of just gave us one issue that picked up right after the tournament arc. It was okay. Like, it was probably a 3 out of 5 stars. It was a cool issue to see, and it was like just cool to see, Shang-Chi again. But overall, it was just a pretty weak issue in my opinion. Next, we have the 2018 Infinity Warp's Arachnite issues 1 and 2. This is where Spider-Man and Moon Knight combine into one character. That sounds super cool. Overall, it was very mid. Nothing happened at all. The Goblin's design was really bad. And it was just really confusing. Like, when the different personalities would take over Spider-Man, it wasn't clear which personality was taking over at all. So sometimes you'd be thinking like, oh, he's acting out a character, but then you have to remind yourself like, oh, it's just a personality of, Khonshu or Moon Knight taking over. But it's not, though. Like, it's really confusing. I didn't really enjoy it. I think his design is insane, but overall I give it like a 2 out of 5 stars. It was not very good in my opinion. Next, we have a Marvel Unlimited exclusive. We have the DC and Marvel collab of Thor and Shazam. This was such a fun read. I really enjoyed it. The villain in it is overpowered as heck. He's a caterpillar that has the power of all these different gods, including Darkseid and Mr. Miracle. Yeah, he's just overpowered. Wait, Mr. Miracle, that's not what I meant. I meant, who did I mean? I don't know, but he has the power of all these different people, and he's really overpowered. And he fights Thor and Shazam, obviously. They team up, and it was really cool to see their lightning powers, combine together, them fight together. We also get to see Shazam actually wield Mjolnir, which means he's worthy. And it was stated in the comics that he's worthy, which is really cool. and this guy who was granted Thor's power for a little bit, his name was John. He could also pick up the Thor's hammer, so he's also worthy, this random guy named John. But still cool to see. It was a fun read. Overall, I give it like a 3.5 to 4 stars, probably closer to 3.5. It was really fun. The artwork was great, and it was just a single issue, but it was really fun. Next, we have the 2019 to 2020 Swordmaster series. This is 12 issues. I wanted to read more Lin Lee because Lin Lee just seems really cool as Iron Fist. So I wanted to read the stuff where he's Swordmaster and then read the stuff where he gets into Iron Fist. I haven't read the Iron Fist Lin Lee stuff yet, but as Swordmaster, I did not enjoy that series one bit. It is such a nothing burger, and they really emphasize like chronological timeline over writing a story. For example, there is one issue where it's just one scene. The entire thing is one conversation, and they go through every single dialogue, and you would expect, like, since it's one conversation, this must be a really meaningful conversation, but they're actually just rehashing what was told in the last issue, so we literally learned nothing new. And it was a full issue of that. And it was just dialogue heavy, and we weren't actually seeing any character development between Lin Lee. He was interacting with this like grandma person, and they literally weren't like even talking to each other. They had two separate points, and they were really just, you know, yapping about their own points without listening to each other, and it was just very boring. And that was like issue 11. That was like right before the end of the series. Yeah, this series was really weird. Doctor Strange showed up, and he absolutely carried the series. But overall, it was just kind of meh. Next, we have War of the Realms, New Agents of Atlas. This was 4 issues in 2014. This is such a cool team. Overall, though, the story was lacking, and the artwork was really good, but the story was very, very, very weak, which disappointed me because it has probably the coolest team of characters that I've ever seen on a team. So I just want to list them out for you right now. I have it written down over here. So the team consists of Arrow, Brawn, Crescent, Luna Snow, Shang-Chi, Silk, Swordmaster, Wave, White Fox, and there's a couple other supporting characters like Red Feather who shows up a little bit, but these are just niche characters that I'm not super into, so I love seeing them together because I want to learn about all of these different characters that I haven't been exposed to that much. Sadly, the writing was very meh. It was very, very lacking, and the story honestly just wasn't very interesting. It was more interesting just seeing these characters on a team and just seeing these characters in general. But it was a really, really lacking story in my opinion. I'd give it like a 2.5 out of 5 stars. And I also forgot to rate the stars for the last issue. Swordmaster, I'd give it like a 1.5 stars. Next, we have Matt Fraction's Hawkeye 2012 to 2015 run. This was 22 issues of absolute peak. This is one of my favorite Marvel books I have ever read. I didn't expect to like Hawkeye. I also didn't know Kate Bishop was going to show up. I've always liked Kate Bishop, but I didn't expect to like Clint Barton Hawkeye. Obviously, they're both named Hawkeye, but I didn't expect to like Clint Barton Hawkeye. I really liked his character. He was kind of just this loser who was getting beat up, but actually persevered and locked in when he needed to. And I really liked that about him. And he also really cared about the community around him, which was really like a big part of his character. So I think it was written really well, but also the minimalistic art really, really matched the story. It was so amazing. I would give this series a 5 out of 5 stars. I don't give 5 out of 5s that often, but every single issue has been amazing. I read the entire thing in, I think, maybe 1 day or even 2 days. It was so good. And also the villains were very menacing, especially this one guy who just straight up shot Clint Barton in the head. So, I don't know. It was very, very gross, very good, and I just liked it. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, the Bro Gang was low-key really funny, but I really like that series. Next, we have the 2008 to 2009 Spider-Man Noir run. This is 4 issues. This is another banger. I love this. This is literally Batman The Long Halloween if it was Spider-Man Noir. These stories are so similar, and I really enjoyed it. The artwork of the noir style really fits the story, of course, because it's Spider-Man Noir, but also there was so many twists and turns. It was brutal. It was sad. It was a really, really good story. The artwork, like I said, just perfectly matched the story and the writing, which was obviously amazing. I'm comparing it to Batman The Long Halloween, which is my favorite Batman story of all time. I've been saying this after I read it. Spider-Man Noir, that 2008 to 2009 series, might be my favorite Spider-Man related thing I've ever read. And it's not even the main Spider-Man. So that should say something. I give that also a 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. And you guys have to read it. Like, Spider-Man Noir got super popular, not out of nowhere. He had a really good run of really good stories. and he immediately got put in Shattered Dimensions like a year after his character was created because his stories were so good. So definitely pick that one up too. Next, we got the 2022 Spider-Punk run. This is a 5-issue run. This was okay at best. Like, the artwork was pretty I didn't really like it. The story was pretty I didn't like it. Taskmaster showed up, and I always like Taskmaster because he's my favorite villain. I just did not feel the need to read it. The dialogue was terrible. Like, I was reading this on call with a couple of friends, and I was literally audibly laughing at how bad the dialogue was. The dialogue was so bad. It was so childish. It was so corny. But like, normally I don't dock points off, like for Spider-Boy, for example, because they do it right. Like, it's corny, it's, childish, but it fits the character. But like, there was people who were giving like speeches before a big battle, like this Captain America character. He was giving a speech before a big battle, and it is possibly the worst speech I've ever seen. There's no way it would have ever encompassed any hope into me before potentially dying in battle. So yeah, I would give that series maybe like a 2 out of 5 stars, maybe 2.5. It was not very good in my opinion. Next, we have the Taskmaster 2020 to 2021 series. This is a 5-issue series. Like I said, Taskmaster is my favorite villain of all time. This series was so fun, and it perfectly encompasses why I like Taskmaster. He's just a funny dude. Like, he's just awesome. He has such a strong personality. I think overall, this is like a 4 out of 5 star story. I think the artwork could have been like a little bit more fitting towards the character if it was more cartoonish instead of more like heavy realism. But apart from that, it was super duper good. I mean, like I said, Taskmaster just has such a strong personality. So he was cracking jokes with Nick Fury and Maria Hill all the time. And obviously he was getting chased by Black Widow. He's being hunted down, which was really cool to see because I haven't read any Black Widow and I want to read more Black Widow, but seeing her like take down Taskmaster, or like Taskmaster was literally fearing for his life the entire time because he was getting chased by Black Widow. So that was really cool. And I really enjoyed this series. 4 out of 5 stars. And for the last thing I read is All New Wolverine, the 2015 to 2018 Tom Taylor run. This was a 35-issue series of Laura Kinney Wolverine. And can I tell you guys something? Laura Kinney might be one of my favorite characters, not specifically because of this run, because I've just been reading her a lot, but this run definitely helped that. Laura Kinney is such an awesome character. I love her as Wolverine so much. I think, not that she's better than Logan, I think Logan's better, but I just like her character more. I'm more gravitated towards her than Logan, and I think just her powers, like the fact that she has claws in her legs as well is super cool. And she's just such a good character. The fact that she was basically, mistreated when she was young. So now whenever she sees somebody like being overpowered by somebody who's like more powerful than the person that is being like done wrong, she always feels the need to step in. And she also has a kill code where she doesn't kill, but whenever she sees something that reflects her past, she'll kill the person. So it's like super deep and super like, thought-provoking, seeing somebody with a kill code, but they have one rule, and if you do it, then you die. And she does it all the time. It's really cool, and she really emphasizes like why like being a hero is, it's really difficult because she could have easily become someone evil after all that's been done to her, but she chooses to be a hero anyways, even though she like sometimes goes back into being that evil killing machine that she once was when she sees stuff that reflects her past. Really good character. Overall, I give this a 4 out of 5 stars, maybe 4.5 out of 5 stars if I'm allowed to do decimals. But yeah, it was really good. Holy, okay, but that was a long comic, yeah. So let's go to the comic store because I am really excited to get some comics. All right, we finally started our journey to go to the comic book store, and this week is so insanely stacked. Book that I'm most excited for this week is the Wonder Woman versus Lobo book for DCKO. I think that's going to be the greatest fight in all of the DCKO bracket, but I do want to tell you guys some other things that are coming out. Another one that I'm really excited for is the Hawkman versus Aquaman comic, because that's another DCKO fight. And if you guys read Superman versus Captain Atom, that was peak. We got Absolute Batman 15. This is the one that has Absolute Joker for the first time, and I think this has potential to be one of the highest selling comics of the year. Absolute Joker has been hyped up so much by so many different people, and obviously Absolute Batman has the credibility now after the Bane arc. So I think this is going to be a huge pickup for a lot of people. We got Ultimate Spider-Man issue 23. This has to be good. issues 19 through 22, at least for me, have been very much lower in quality compared to the rest of the series. And I really need 23 to pick it up because the series does end at issue 24. And I really want Spider-Man to have an actual wrap-up. We do have Assorted Crisis Events, issue number 7. I've only read issue number 6 of this series, but it is an anthology. I still am not sure if I'm gonna pick it up though, because I do need to save a little bit of money because Christmas time is coming up, and I wanna obviously buy people gifts for Christmas. And then we also got Transformers issue number 27, which has this insane Soundwave cover. Soundwave is my favorite Decepticon, so this looks really, really good. I didn't know this Transformers comic series is my first exposure to Transformers because I've never watched like the old animated stuff, and I haven't even watched a Transformers movie before. I've only seen like clips of the Michael Bay stuff and Transformers 1. I've never actually watched one. So this comic series by Daniel Warren Johnson, or well, issues 1 through 24 was Daniel Warren Johnson, was the first exposure I've ever had to Transformers, and I loved it. And then obviously issues 25 through 27 has been Robert Kirkman and Dan Moore, and it's been really good. I could totally see myself like fully getting into the Transformers as a franchise because I've just loved this comic series, and I just know I'm gonna love the movies. Did just get to the comic store, so I'm obviously gonna lock in and buy my comics. But yeah, I'll be back with you guys in a second. These connecting covers look so cool. What? Soundwave cover looks insane for Transformers issue number 27. Guess I have to read the series. The series is so good.
Yeah, that's good. Fat Jim Cotta. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Technically should buy these boards right now, but I'm saving up to buy people stuff for Christmas, so my comics will be not boarded again.
It's noir. Oh, like the dye.
Yeah, dynamite.
Yeah.
Finally got our comics. Oh my gosh, I almost fell. We finally got our comics. I got some good pulls, but I am super proud of myself because this is the first time in vlog history where I set a budget and I actually stuck to it. I did not overspend. I got one book that I was debating whether like getting it or not, but I was also thinking about getting boards, and I was also thinking about a trade, but I didn't get the boards, I didn't get the trade, and I left the single issue because it's Christmas time. I gotta give back. Do you think that my pulls today are kind of insane? Like this week, like I said, was just so insanely stacked with good books. So even though I might have not got like a crazy amount of singles, I still think they're all gonna be super high quality. So I'm really, really excited to show you guys. Today's a good day. I'll be back home for Christmas soon. I'm in the Christmas spirit, and let's go back to the dorm so I can show you guys what I got. All right, we're back from the comic store. As you guys can see, I got my bags, so let's see what's inside. Starting off, this is probably everybody's most anticipated read of this week because this is just going to be one of the highest selling comics, like I said. Absolute Batman 15. We finally get a look at Absolute Joker, and the Bane arc was super well received by comic fans and non-comic fans as well. A lot of people know about Absolute Batman now, kind of put them on the map. I've seen people that don't even read comics talk about it, so it's really cool. And it's obviously really good to see like comics in general do well. So I'm really excited for this. And Joker looks terrifying. I mean, his design is literally insane. I don't know, it's pretty cool. Next, we have the DC KO fight of Aquaman versus Hawkman. This is such an interesting lineup of a fight for me. I don't know too much about Hawkman, and I also don't know too much about Aquaman. So I think this is going to be really cool to see. And I just want to read more of both of them because like I said, I want to dive into a lot of characters that I haven't read before, which is what I'm doing right now on Marvel Unlimited. So when I get DC Infinite, I'm definitely going to try to read a lot of their runs. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Jeff Johns has a new 52 Aquaman run. I could be wrong about that. It could be somebody else. But I heard it's really good, the new 52 Aquaman. So I definitely want to read that. And I'm definitely going to try to read some stuff with Hawkman. I don't really know what he's in, but, you know, want to get more into him. For the next one, we got another DC KO fight. It is Wonder Woman versus Lobo. Like I said, this is my most anticipated read of the week, and I'll probably read it the second that this vlog is done because I'm just so excited to read this. This looks insane, and I really like Wonder Woman. I obviously really like Lobo. These are two characters that I think are going to put up such a good fight together, and I think it's just going to be so fun, charismatic, brutal. You're going to see a lot of like, you know, high-powered fighting. This is going to be great. I'm so excited to read this. Then moving on to Marvel, we have Spider-Man and Wolverine issue number 8. This has been such a fun series. I've been loving the artwork a lot. Last issue, like a lot of the pages were sideways, so they were actually horizontal comic pages, which is super cool. And I've never seen that much of that in general. So the fact that it was just so unique, you know, it really showed off the artwork. There were some double page spreads that were fully sideways as well. It was super cool. And I've just been loving this series. I mean, I like Wolverine, I like Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my favorite Marvel hero, and Wolverine used to be my favorite Marvel hero when I was a kid. So this is like two of my favorite characters just collabing, and it's just such a good series. Like I said, super fun. Definitely pick this up if you haven't. Next we have Ultimate Spider-Man issue 23. Next we got Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 23. This ends at issue 24, sadly. I am really sad about that, guys. This story has been really good. I haven't been enjoying the last little arc of this, 19 through 22. I think I've been really weak in my opinion, but I think overall this is such a great story and it's such a cool twist on Spider-Man. Like I said, Spider-Man is my favorite Marvel hero. So seeing them like twist around some of his origin, some of his villains, some of him having a family. Obviously Venom has a pretty big twist in this. There's a lot of just cool twists and turns. I really enjoy this, and it's just a fun read. I really like it. I recently put my little brother on this story because he's also a big Spider-Man fan, and he's been enjoying it a lot. So I'm really excited to read this issue. And then last but not least, this is probably my second most anticipated of the week, or maybe third behind Absolute Batman. We have Transformers issue number 27 with this insane Soundwave cover. This is probably my favorite cover of Transformers that I own. I only own like the first 4 trades, and then I have like the Dan Mora single issues, but oh my gosh. This cover's nuts. And obviously Robert Kirkman and Dan Mora have been doing a really good job of picking up after Danny Warren Johnson's Transformers. Danny Warren Johnson's Transformers, in my opinion, was better, but that's completely okay. I mean, Robert Kirkman and Dan Mora have only had 3 issues, counting this, so I guess only 2 issues that I've read, so it's kind of not fair to compare 24 issues to 2, but Danny Warren Johnson is also my favorite artist and my favorite writer, so I have a really heavy bias towards him. But I've been loving this series, and I'm just so excited to read this issue. But yeah, that's everything I got this week. Like I said, I'm trying to save up a little bit of money to buy things for people for Christmas, obviously, because Christmas is a really big holiday, at least for me and my family. I really want to buy them, like, gifts, and I got to save up some money for that. But yeah, we got 6 single issues today, and I'm really excited to read them all. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.